What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And in this one, as I'm sure you guys have already heard, the New England Patriots are shipping off quarterback Jarrett Stidham to who? Of course, the Las Vegas Raiders and Josh McDaniels, along with all of the other former New England Patriots players. Now, I actually think it boded really well for the Patriots in the sense of value for Jarrett Stidham that Josh McDaniels did leave, because if Josh McDaniels stayed, who really would have put out a bid for Jarrett Stidham? I really don't think any teams would have been interested. I think at most it would have been a conditional 7th round pick. But because Josh McDaniels is a first-year head coach or first-year new head coach, he's trying to build a new system. He wants to have players in his system that he's familiar with. He decided to say, hey, I want my backup quarterback or a guy that's going to compete for the backup quarterback job to be someone that I've been around with and helped to develop for the last several years. And that guy's Jarrett Stidham. Now, drafted by the Patriots in the 4th round of the 2019 NFL Draft, a lot of people thought that this was going to be the successor to Tom Brady when Brady surprisingly decided that he was going to be stepping away from the New England Patriots organization, which just left Jarrett Stidham for the Patriots at quarterback. And after he showed out in his rookie preseason, a lot of us thought that there is potential upside to Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham could be an NFL starting quarterback, and it looked that way. Belichick, this coaching staff, when Brady left, they made it look that way. They didn't go ahead and sign another quarterback, a.k.a. Cam Newton, till June or July. And players had nothing but praise for Jarrett Stidham, and it even sounded like Belichick was comfortable with rolling with Stidham as his QB1, calling him his guy. Now, essentially what this trade is a pick swap for the 6th and 7th round pick. The Patriots will be sending the Raiders Jarrett Stidham and a 7th round pick, and the Raiders are going to be sending New England a 6th round pick. So essentially, New England's just moving up some spots for a guy that, let's be honest, they were likely going to end up releasing with the current quarterback depth chart they had. Jarrett Stidham at best was competing for the backup quarterback job, but after taking Bailey Zappi in the 4th round, who looks like he's going to be a much better option as a backup QB than Stidham at this point, as Stidham's kind of proven what his value is. Stidham was definitely on the outside looking in. Now, I do think the only thing this trade did was limit the amount of time that Jarrett Stidham was going to have with his last year in a New England Patriots uniform. I think ideally the Patriots would have kept him around for training camp, maybe even the preseason, and then released him. But because they had a trade partner, of course, they decided, you know what, let's ship him off now and get whatever we possibly can for him in return. And you can't hate it. You know, I think essentially we all thought Stidham was just going to be cut for roster cutdowns, and you were going to get nothing for him. But the Patriots get a little bit of something. They move from a 7th round pick to a 6th round pick and free up just under $1 million in cap space with about $965,000. Now, like I said, Jarrett Stidham has shown some flashes throughout his tenure since joining in 2019. Obviously, was never the starter. 2019, Brady was there, and then in 2020, he lost that job pretty quickly to Cam Newton. In 2019, though, he did get some garbage time snaps in which he had 14 yards, 4 passes thrown, 2 completions, and 1 interception, which ended up being that pick 6, of course, to Jamal Adams. Then in 2020, got a little bit more action. He was given 44 pass attempts with 22 completions for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. I think Jarrett Stidham definitely has the intangibles. The problem is the inconsistencies. You don't know what version of Jarrett Stidham you're going to get. You're going to get a guy who, hey, he looks like he could be a starting quarterback in this league. Maybe not elite, but a high-quality starting quarterback. And then there's going to be games where he's lobbing passes, throwing passes short, throwing 3 interceptions in a game. And I think that's really what pushed the Patriots away from Jarrett Stidham and pushed them to go ahead and sign Bailey Zappi. And I think Patriots fans should be more comfortable with that pick now of Bailey Zappi now that Jarrett Stidham is gone, because I'm continuing to tell you guys, Brian Hoyer's not your backup quarterback. He's there strictly as a mentoring piece to this offense, to Mac Jones and these other young developing pieces. He's not going to play on the field. And you need a backup quarterback to Mac Jones, right? If Mac Jones goes down, you need a guy who's going to be able to go in and continue to keep the ball rolling. Stidham proved that he wasn't going to be that guy, so at this point, why keep him knowing that your backup quarterback is going to do absolutely nothing for you? And now we all know why New England decided to pick Bailey Zappi in the 4th round of this past draft, because they now get their backup quarterback. At this point, it's not a competition. It's not a battle. Bailey Zappi is your 2022 Patriots QB2. Now, as for the Raiders, I think it's a really interesting quarterback room now. You have Derek Carr, who just signed an extension this offseason, who's going to be your QB1. They also have Nick Mullins as their QB2, and now Jarrett Stidham as QB3. Nick Mullins is definitely a better quarterback than Jarrett Stidham. If I had to pick between Nick Mullins and Stidham, I'm definitely going with Nick Mullins, but maybe, Josh McDaniels, he has another idea. Maybe he thinks that he can still get something out of Stidham, continue to help develop him. And we've seen the Patriots offense multiple times keep 3 quarterbacks on their roster. Maybe with Josh McDaniels going to Vegas, he's going to implement that 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster too. Now, real quick, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this channel, betonline.ag. Our partners over at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that baseball is back, and the start of the Major League Baseball season is finally here. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join us using that promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. But the New England Patriots swap picks with the Las Vegas Raiders in return for quarterback Jarrett Stidham. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.